So how do you make a lot of money in sales? And we're not talking about how do you make 100 grand, but like how do you make a couple hundred grand a year, invest it, and become a millionaire? And I just want to be clear with you guys. If you look at the statistics, about 1% of salespeople will ever become millionaires. But another interesting statistic from the book, The Self-Made Billionaire Effect, is 75% of the 120 self-made billionaires that they studied to write that book started in sales. So it's obvious that being effective at communicating, being persuasive, being able to get people to understand why they should take action is a foundational piece of becoming very wealthy, but it isn't the only piece. But for those of you that are in sales or you have a sales team and you've got a business that you're trying to scale, what I want to go over with you guys in this video are the things that I've noticed make the biggest difference from the very best top 1% closers and basically everybody else. And I say this not from a point of pride or arrogance or anything, but for a number of years I was the top closer for Ty Lopez. There was one other guy, he had 15 years more experience than me. Every once in a while he'd beat me. And so what I found was when I studied him and a couple other guys that I know that have done extremely well in sales, and I've just looked at my own behavior, there's basically two or three things that really make these people stand out. Number one is they are persistent. And they're persistent in a way that's actually attractive to the prospect. So I want you guys to understand what most people think as being persistent is like, hey, are you ready to get started? Hey, just checking in here. Hey, just checking back. That's not persistent. That's annoying. That's like what a 5-year-old does. The most effective salespeople, every single follow up that they do is providing more value. So I'll give you guys a bunch of examples really quick. So one is sending testimonials, showing people getting results and telling them, hey man, I really want to help you to get results like these. Check out what happened with Christopher or John or Ben or whatever. Or sending something that highlights the pain. I have a client I sent this to yesterday. I sent him a screenshot of his YouTube channel and I sent him a screenshot of Mr. Beast's YouTube channel. This is called contrast bias. I said, if we could just get these thumbnails and titles more attractive to the people who are looking for your content, like Mr. Beast does for the people who watch his content, we have a no-brainer. I mean, people are just going to love your stuff. And this is a guy who's very good at speaking on camera. So you want to make sure that you're persistent in the sense that you never give up, but also that it's actually providing value. I have a client call I did earlier this week with a prospective client, and the only reason I got that call was because I literally just followed up with him every other day. He literally texted me back. This is a guy who's real big in the online space. He's got millions of followers. And he said, I like how persistent you are. Talk to my guy Ben. And he gave me his phone number and said, I want you guys to talk and let's get this going. So persistence is big because what happens is most people give up one or two touch points before the person would have said yes. In reality, most sales are going to take anywhere from 7 on the low end up to 20 follow-ups to close. You're going to have to ask for the deal a lot of times before it closes, especially if you're selling high ticket offers like we sell in my agency. We're not charging, $5. We're charging in the tens of thousands of dollars a year. And a lot of times we're getting paid upfront for those deals. So being persistent is a big piece of this. The second thing is they're not afraid to challenge the prospect. And when I say challenge, one thing comes to mind. One of the guys I know that was an amazing salesperson, he's been selling his whole life. He's 50 years old now. I would watch him at in-person events and I'd listen to what he was saying to people, and he wasn't afraid to call people out. He'd say, hey, like, I'm just looking at your stuff here. This isn't going to work, man. Like, you guys just aren't going to get results from this. And he didn't apologize for it. He wasn't like trying to be nice about it. He was just honest. He's like, hey, look, like, I've seen 1,000 people try to do what you're doing here with your brand. That's not going to work. You need a new strategy. So a lot of what most people don't realize is with sales, it's especially in 2026 and moving forward as AI takes over more pieces of the world, you have to be able to be kind of like a coach. The kind of person that says, hey, look, man, you're telling me you want this, but I'm looking at what you're doing here, and this isn't going to get you this. In order to get this, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z, and you're not going to be able to figure this all out on your own. You can if you want it to take an extra 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the timeline is. But the reality is, like, if you're going to change this situation to get the results that you're not currently getting, we have to change the things that you're doing here. So great salespeople are, they're not afraid to call people out, and they're not afraid to be a little bit of a coach in the sense that they're telling them like, hey man, look, you need some tough love here. This is not your best. You can be better, and we can help you with that. So being a challenging person, being a coach, somebody who pushes people, what it does is it actually demonstrates authority. People who don't have authority, if you do that and you have no authority and they don't feel like you're smart enough to say those things, they're just going to brush you off. But if you're the kind of person that you can demonstrate, hey, look, man, I know what I'm talking about here. You need to do these things. And if we do these things, we get this result. Just like if you tie your shoes a certain way, you end up with a couple of bows. If you can demonstrate that, you can challenge them and you can push them to take action. And then the third and final piece of this is, the best salespeople in the world, the people that just get deals done, they ask. And you guys would not believe this. I would recommend you go Google this, look it up on ChatGPT. But 7 out of 10 sales conversations, up to 9 out of 10, end with the salesperson not even asking for the sale. And some of it's people are scared. They're like, well, what if they say no? Okay, they might say no. Big deal. Some of it's because they don't know how to ask. Nobody's taught them how to ask for people to pay them. And some of it's just, not being focused, not being present with the prospect. If I was going to add a fourth thing, it would be just being there when you're talking to somebody, not looking at Instagram, not doing all this other stuff, just being 100% paying attention to the person in front of you. But they ask for the sale, and they know how to ask softly, they know how to ask bluntly. And if you're looking at the sales process, right, you get to the close and you have to ask for the sale. What I would recommend you guys do is you should have a series of asks lined up. In the back of your mind, you should already know, I'm going to ask this guy 6 times. I already have all the questions in my mind. Hey, so in order for us to get started today, it's going to be $3,500. We can do Visa or MasterCard. We could also do crypto or a wire. What works best for you? Oh, I'm not sure yet. I got to do this. Overcome the objection and then ask again. Well, what if we just did this instead? Or how does this sound? What if we do this? Well, you know what? I'm thinking about this. If we actually, what we should do is we should include this other thing. Normally we charge $1,000 for it. But if you're willing to just get started, so we don't have to do 20 emails, 20 text messages, 5 phone calls, 3 Google Meets, and a Zoom call, I'll just throw it in for free. You don't even have to pay the extra $1,000. So have a lot of asks lined up before you get to the end of the call. And if you do this and you stay persistent, you stay present with the people that you're speaking to, and you're not afraid to actually challenge people and coach them a little bit, you're going to find that you'll very easily rise up in the ranks in terms of how good of a closer you are, how good you are at making sales, and how effective you are in terms of just generating an above average income for yourself. And if you guys are interested in learning more, getting better at closing deals, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By the way, in the description, I have a free Skool community. You can join there. Every month we're doing live calls, we're training, I'm talking to you guys about the stuff that I'm finding that's working, I'm sharing tools you guys can use, so check those out. But at the very least, do yourself a favor, and yes, I do mean that honestly, I will be able to help you to close more deals. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, click the little bell icon, and I'll see you guys on the next video.